Have you ever felt a quiet, persistent calling in your soul that you couldn't explain? A knowing that you were different, set apart, marked for something bigger than the world around you seems to notice. That may not be your imagination. There are people in this world who are born with a different vibration, those destined for something beyond the ordinary, those chosen for a unique spiritual mission, whether they are fully aware of it yet or not. These individuals often experience strange synchronicities, inner awakenings, and powerful internal shifts that can't be rationalized with logic alone. They are the chosen ones. In this video, we'll uncover the 7 hidden signs that may confirm you're one of them. These signs often remain unseen to others, but burn like a hidden flame in those called to walk a divine path. Whether you've always sensed this or are just beginning to awaken to the possibility, this is for you. Before we dive in, I invite you to watch this video all the way to the end, not just to discover whether you're the chosen one, but to experience something much deeper. This isn't just a message, it's an energy, a calling, a spark. If you're here, you're meant to receive it. After watching, share your warmest wishes in the comments and write 77 to energize them and release your intention into the universe. This space is sacred. It's a collective field of transformation, and your words carry power. You never know whose wish your energy might unlock, or how your own deepest desires might finally take root and begin to grow. Now let us begin. You may recognize some of these signs immediately. Others may stir something deep within you, awakening memories, emotions, or truths that have long been dormant. That is the nature of hidden things. They reveal themselves when the soul is ready to receive. Sign 1. You have felt out of place most of your life. The first hidden sign that you may be a chosen one is that you've never quite fit in. Not as a child, not in school, not in the workplace, not even sometimes within your own family. You've likely felt like an outsider, as if you were observing the world rather than fully participating in it. This sense of separation isn't accidental. It's a spiritual marker, an energetic frequency that places you slightly outside the rhythm of the masses. While others find comfort in following the crowd, you've always questioned the rules, the expectations, the norms. Your soul resists conformity because it remembers its freedom. It remembers why you came here. Being set apart isn't a curse, it's a preparation. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to awaken others. Sign 2. You've endured intense challenges early in life. The second hidden sign is a life marked by trials, especially in your younger years. Chosen ones often go through unusually difficult beginnings: trauma, loss, emotional wounds, or profound loneliness. While this may seem unfair, it's not punishment, it's spiritual training. Your pain carved out the depth of your compassion. Your scars became portals of wisdom. You were being forged, not broken. Those early experiences stretched your heart, expanded your intuition, and cracked you open to divine truths that others might never glimpse. Your resilience is not ordinary, it is sacred. It was designed, because only those who face the dark can carry the light with integrity. Sign 3. You are deeply empathic and spiritually sensitive. Do you absorb the emotions of others as if they were your own? Do crowded places overwhelm you? Do you feel the undercurrents of energy in a room without anyone speaking a word? This deep sensitivity is the third hidden sign. Chosen ones are natural empaths, often long before they understand what that truly means. Your nervous system is finely tuned, your spirit wide open. You sense things before they happen. You feel the truth behind the surface. You cry when the world is hurting. And though it may seem like a burden at times, this is a spiritual gift. Your soul volunteered to feel more so that others wouldn't have to. You are an emotional translator, a carrier of spiritual frequencies the world desperately needs. Sign 4. You're drawn to the unseen and the mysterious. The fourth hidden sign is your unrelenting fascination with the mysteries of life. You're drawn to the spiritual, the metaphysical, the hidden layers beneath reality. You find meaning in dreams, synchronicities, symbols, and signs. While others are obsessed with surface-level pleasures, you crave depth. You want to know why we're here. You feel connected to something beyond this world, something vast, intelligent, and eternal. Chosen ones are often the seekers, the visionaries, the ones who explore consciousness itself. Your thirst for truth is not random, it is a remembrance. Your soul remembers the divine, and it pulls you toward it with every breath. Sign 5. You are a natural healer, teacher, or leader. Even if you don't know it yet, whether you've embraced it or not, the fifth hidden sign is that you carry a frequency that others feel. People open up to you. Strangers may tell you their life story. Friends come to you for advice. Even animals and children are drawn to your presence. There's something about you, an unseen light, a calming energy, a grounded truth. This doesn't mean you have to be in a traditional leadership role. Being a healer or guide can happen quietly, through presence, through listening, through simply being who you are. Your vibration affects the environment around you, and often, the chosen ones must go through their own awakening before they realize how powerfully others are affected just by their authenticity. Sign 6. You feel a strong sense of purpose, even if you don't know what it is. Yet the sixth sign is an internal compass that keeps whispering, there's more. Even if your life looks fine on the outside, there's a restlessness within. You feel a mission, a calling, something unspoken, but ever present. This purpose may not come with a clear map, but it fuels you all the same. You can't numb it or walk away from it. You've tried. You've had moments of doubt, confusion, even despair, but the feeling always returns, that you're here for something bigger. This isn't ambition, it's a sacred remembering. Your soul made a contract before it entered this lifetime, and now that the time is right, you're being activated. Piece by piece, your path is revealing itself, and with each step, the fog lifts. Sign 7. The universe sends you signs, and you're starting to notice. The final hidden sign is synchronicity. You keep seeing repeating numbers. You think of someone, and they call. You dream something, and it happens. You find feathers, coins, songs that speak directly to your soul. These aren't coincidences. They are confirmations. The universe is speaking to you, aligning events, nudging your intuition, awakening your memory. The more you pay attention, the more these signs will increase. Chosen ones are never alone. You have guides, guardians, ancestors, energies that walk beside you. And now, more than ever, they are making themselves known. Why? Because it's time. You're ready to remember. You're ready to begin. And now that these signs are stirring within you, take a moment to pause. Breathe. Feel. This isn't about forcing answers or rushing ahead. It's about awakening. The signs are not external proof. They are inner echoes, resonance. If they moved something in you, if they reminded you of something you forgot you knew, then you are already on the path. You are not here by accident, and you are not alone. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life when the inner calling becomes louder than the outer noise. It may begin with a quiet discontent, a subtle awareness that life, as it's presented by the world, is not enough. You might start questioning everything. your role, your identity, your beliefs, even the structure of reality itself. This is not a breakdown, it's the beginning of revelation. The truth is, chosen ones are born with an embedded spiritual code that activates at key points in life. These activations come as triggers, sometimes in the form of pain, loss, or transformation. You may not understand why certain things keep falling apart around you, why relationships shift, careers stall, or old dreams die. But all of it is part of your unlayering. The universe is not punishing you. It's peeling away everything that isn't aligned with your true essence. The chosen one's path is not linear. It twists, doubles back, spirals inward, and expands outward. Just when you think you've arrived, life shifts again. This is because your journey isn't about arriving somewhere, it's about embodying something. The world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs awakened ones. And awakening isn't a light switch. It's a sacred fire. It burns illusions. It softens the ego. It reveals what you were taught to ignore. As a chosen one, your spiritual awakening may not look like the cliches. It might not come with peaceful meditation or graceful surrender. Often, it comes with grief, isolation, and the collapse of your old identity. But in that void, something ancient rises, a knowing, a power, a truth that cannot be unlearned. You begin to see beyond the surface. You notice how people wear masks, how systems are built on illusion, how society conditions conformity. And with that clarity comes a deep responsibility to walk differently. Not with arrogance, but with awareness, to speak from truth, even when your voice trembles, to stay connected to your soul when the world demands your silence. You realize you were never meant to sleepwalk through life. You were meant to live awake, eyes wide open, heart exposed. This is the burden and the blessing of being chosen. One of the most common experiences among chosen ones is spiritual loneliness. As your consciousness expands, your old circles may no longer feel aligned. Conversations that once entertained you now feel hollow. Social gatherings become draining. You may withdraw, not out of depression, but out of energetic necessity. You are recalibrating. Your frequency is shifting. And until you find others on your wavelength, solitude becomes sacred. In this stillness, you begin to hear the voice of your higher self. You begin to receive downloads, sudden insights, intuitive nudges, and visions of what could be. You start trusting your own guidance more than the opinions of others. That is evolution. That is the return of your inner authority. As a chosen one, your inner world becomes more real than your outer circumstances. While others chase validation, you seek alignment. While others hustle for success, you hunger for meaning. This isn't because you're better, it's because you're wired differently. You're tuned into soul over status, essence over appearance, truth over tradition. And because of this, your path often feels lonely, misunderstood, and invisible. But invisible does not mean insignificant. In fact, many of the most powerful chosen ones are hidden in plain sight, quietly doing the inner work, silently shifting timelines, holding space for collective healing. You may notice that time behaves differently for you. Days blur, synchronicities intensify. You might begin to sense that you're not operating under the same energetic laws as those around you. That's because you're shifting from linear consciousness into multidimensional awareness. This means you're no longer confined to what's logical or reasonable. Your soul remembers how to navigate by intuition, energy, and resonance. You may find yourself pulled to certain places without knowing why. You may meet strangers who feel like soul family. You may stumble into conversations, opportunities, or turning points that change everything. These are not random. You are being guided, constantly, softly, but unmistakably. The path of the chosen one is filled with initiations. These aren't ceremonies held in temples. They are moments in your everyday life that require spiritual courage. Saying no when everyone expects you to say yes. Walking away from what no longer serves you, even if it costs you comfort or approval. Choosing truth over popularity. Listening to your inner voice, even when it's quieter than the crowd. These are acts of spiritual rebellion, the kind that don't make headlines but ripple through the collective. Every time you choose authenticity over conformity, you expand the field for others. That is your quiet revolution. That is your invisible leadership. You'll also notice that the more you align with your soul, the more your outer world begins to shift. Toxic connections fall away. Hidden truths are revealed. Sudden opportunities emerge. You are not just changing internally, you are becoming a magnet for a new reality. This is when manifestation accelerates, not because you're forcing it, but because you've become a match to your mission. Your vibration is no longer negotiable. You've stopped shrinking. You've stopped pretending. You've stopped apologizing for your light. And as you step into that power, your purpose begins to unfold. Not all at once, but in layers, through synchronicities, divine timing, and soul recognition. Another aspect of being chosen is the constant mirror of resistance. You may trigger others without trying. You may be judged, doubted, or rejected by those still rooted in fear. This is because your energy exposes what is hidden. Your presence is catalytic. It awakens others, often before they are ready. Do not let their discomfort make you question your truth. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be real. And realness, in a world addicted to illusions, is revolutionary. Keep shining, even when it feels thankless. Keep speaking, even when it echoes in silence. Your authenticity is doing far more than you realize. The chosen one is not without flaws. You are not immune to doubt, fear, or failure. In fact, your human experience is vital to your spiritual power. You are both divine and human, light and shadow, sacred and scarred. This duality is not a contradiction. It's your mastery. Your wounds have become portals. Your darkness has taught you compassion. Your struggles have sharpened your wisdom. You walk with grace because you've crawled through chaos. And this makes you relatable, approachable, real. People don't need perfect idols. They need living proof that healing is possible. And that's exactly what you are becoming. Perhaps one of the most beautiful yet challenging parts of being chosen is the endless cycle of death and rebirth. Just when you think you've found solid ground, the earth shifts again. Old identities dissolve. New truths emerge. You're constantly shedding and evolving. This can be disorienting, but it's also liberating. You are not meant to stay the same. You are meant to become more and more of your soul. Every layer you release brings you closer to your essence. Every surrender is a homecoming. Every ending is an invitation to begin again. Lighter, freer, truer. And through it all, you begin to understand that being chosen is not about being special. It's about being responsible. Responsible for your light. Responsible for your impact. Responsible for your healing. You're not here to fix the world. You're here to embody what a healed world feels like. That embodiment ripples out. That frequency changes lives. It may not always be seen or celebrated, but it is sacred work, soul work, and it matters more than you know. This path may not be easy, but it is purposeful. Every challenge has refined you. Every loss has redirected you. Every moment of doubt has prepared you to anchor deeper truth. You didn't come here to escape the darkness. You came here to transform it. You are not lost. You are being aligned. Everything you've been through has led to this very moment. And this moment is asking you to remember who you are. So breathe, trust, keep walking. The signs will continue. The synchronicities will multiply. The path will reveal itself step by step. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not late. You are rising exactly as you were meant to. And the universe is walking with you every step of the way. To walk the path of the chosen one is to live in constant awareness of what others often overlook. Your senses become attuned not only to what is, but to what is possible, to subtle energies, to layers of meaning, to spiritual signals disguised as ordinary life. You begin to see every moment as a message, every challenge as a coded lesson, every encounter as a mirror. This heightened awareness is not accidental. It's part of your spiritual DNA. You are here to walk between worlds, grounded in the material, yet guided by the unseen. That dual awareness is your compass. You move through reality not blindly, but with vision. You know there's more happening than meets the eye, and your soul is constantly decoding it. Many chosen ones experience a strange sense of time distortion. Hours stretch, days blur, weeks vanish. It's not just because life is busy, it's because your consciousness is shifting. Linear time collapses under spiritual perception. You may remember vivid dreams that feel more real than waking life. You may wake up feeling like you've been somewhere, doing something important. That's not fantasy. That's the multidimensional reality of a chosen one. You're operating beyond the veil, often without full conscious recall. You're participating in energetic realignments, healing work, and soul agreements that stretch beyond your five senses. The deeper your awareness grows, the more you'll begin to recall not just who you are, but why you came here. At a certain point, you will realize that your life is not random. The people you've met, the heartbreaks you've endured, the passions that pull you, the patterns that repeat, all of them are clues. Your story has been orchestrated to activate your soul's remembrance. Nothing was wasted. Even the mistakes carried medicine. Even the delays were divine. The universe was never punishing you. It was preparing you, sculpting your character, refining your focus, awakening your power. The pain, it shaped your compassion. The silence, it taught you to listen. The waiting, it strengthened your trust. Everything was part of the alignment process. And now, you're beginning to see how the puzzle fits together. One of the key shifts in the chosen one's path is moving from external validation to internal sovereignty. At first, like many, you may have sought approval, praise, or belonging. But that no longer satisfies you. You've outgrown the need to be understood by everyone. You're starting to realize that your path is not meant to be approved of. It's meant to be walked, and many won't understand it. That's okay. Your truth doesn't require consensus. Your spirit doesn't need applause. What matters is that you're aligned, that you're listening, that you're honoring the nudges, the whispers, the sacred discomfort that leads to real transformation. Because only you can walk your path. Only you can carry your frequency. As your soul matures, you also begin to notice a shift in your priorities. Things that once seemed urgent now feel irrelevant. You stop chasing and start aligning. You stop performing and start being. The more you embody your truth, the more your life reorganizes around it. You may be called to leave a job, end a relationship, move to a new place, or let go of an old dream. These shifts may be scary, but they are sacred. You are not losing your life, you are reclaiming it. And as you release what no longer resonates, you make space for what truly does. The universe fills every vacuum. When you choose alignment, miracles move. There is also a deepening of discernment that begins to unfold. You start to see through facades. You feel when something is off, even if you can't explain why. You sense intentions. You notice energetic imprints. You can walk into a room and instantly feel whether the energy is nourishing or draining. This is not paranoia, it's spiritual perception. Your intuition becomes a sharp, reliable compass. The more you trust it, the more accurate it becomes. And with that, you begin to honor your own boundaries. You no longer ignore red flags. You no longer abandon yourself for the sake of keeping peace. You understand that real peace comes from alignment, not avoidance. And you give yourself permission to choose what serves your evolution, unapologetically. Another hidden facet of being chosen is your ability to transmute energy. This is not something most people can see, but it's one of your most powerful gifts. You walk into chaotic situations and bring calm. You speak truth and shift the atmosphere. You hold presence and people feel safe. You take in pain and transform it into insight. You carry light into dark places, not with noise, but with vibration. This is why your energy is often sought out, even by those who don't understand why they feel better around you. It's because you're not just a person. You're a channel, a vessel, a bridge between realms, and you've been entrusted with that responsibility for a reason. But with that responsibility comes the need for energetic hygiene. You must protect your energy, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. You must be mindful of what you consume, who you engage with, and where you place your attention. Not all invitations are aligned. Not all voices deserve your response. Not every battle is yours to fight. Your energy is precious, and it must be stewarded with care. This is not about becoming rigid or fearful. It's about recognizing your worth, about knowing that your frequency is medicine, and that medicine needs rest, nourishment, and integrity. You serve the world best when you are full, not depleted. There will be moments when you question everything. When the path feels lonely, the signs grow quiet, and your faith wavers. This is part of the journey. It's the dark night of the soul, a sacred initiation that every chosen one must face. In those moments, you are not being abandoned, you are being deepened. The silence is not absence, it's invitation to go inward, to strengthen your inner anchor, to remember what is true, even when nothing around you confirms it. These moments don't destroy you. They reveal you. They show you what's unshakable. They burn away the false, so that only the real remains. As your consciousness expands, you'll also begin to recognize your connection to the collective. You'll feel global energies before they hit the news. You'll sense emotional waves in the air, not knowing why you suddenly feel heavy or anxious. This is part of your empathic grid connection. You're not just awakening for yourself, you're holding space for others. Your personal healing creates collective shifts. Your inner freedom cracks the matrix. You become a walking lighthouse, guiding others without even trying. This is why your healing matters, not just for you, but for the ripple effect it creates. When one chosen one rises, countless others feel the tremor. You are also likely to experience spiritual downloads, moments of clarity that come out of nowhere, a sudden knowing, a flash of truth, a vision of what's coming. These moments are not imagination. their communication. Your higher self, your guides, your future self, all are speaking to you in ways that bypass logic. The more you honor these downloads, the more frequently they come. Write them down, speak them aloud, act on them when you feel the inner yes. They are keys, clues, coordinates. Your soul is orchestrating your steps in ways you cannot yet see. With time, you begin to notice a shift in your very presence. You no longer try to prove anything. You simply are. You no longer seek to impress. You seek to express. Your life becomes a quiet transmission. People feel your authenticity, your groundedness, your unwavering presence. You don't need to preach. You are the message. This is spiritual embodiment, and it's one of the most powerful stages of the Chosen One's evolution. You've stopped chasing light and started being light. You've stopped escaping your shadow and started integrating it. You're not perfect. You're whole, and that wholeness radiates far beyond words. Eventually, the fear of being seen begins to fade. You stop dimming yourself to make others comfortable. You stop holding back out of fear of judgment. You realize that hiding your light serves no one, not even yourself. So you rise, not to dominate, but to demonstrate, not to control, but to inspire, not to prove your worth, but to live it boldly. This is where your purpose becomes your presence. You are no longer just living for yourself. You are embodying a frequency that opens doors, awakens hearts, and reminds others of their own divinity. Being chosen doesn't mean life gets easier. It means you get clearer, stronger, deeper. It means you move through the fire without losing your faith. It means you learn to hold paradox, joy and grief, hope and sorrow, doubt and devotion, all in the same breath. It means you stop outsourcing your power. You stop begging the world for permission. You stop waiting for a sign to be what you already are. You know the truth. You are the sign. And as you continue on this sacred path, you begin to understand something beautiful and humbling. You were never walking alone. The signs, the synchronicities, the whispers in the night, they were all reminders. Your guides are watching. Your ancestors are cheering. The universe is conspiring. And your soul? It has never, not once, forgotten the mission. You are not here to survive. You are here to embody something holy. You are not here to fit in. You are here to awaken. You are not here to be chosen by others. You are here because you already chose this path long before you arrived. And now, you are remembering. The journey of the Chosen One is filled with sacred contradictions. You often feel both ancient and new, as if your soul has lived countless lifetimes, yet you're just now waking up to what you were always meant to remember. This duality can be overwhelming. You carry the wisdom of ages in your bones, but the world often treats you as if you are just beginning. And perhaps that's the point. You're here to remember, to unlearn the noise, to peel away layers of conditioning and rediscover the original frequency of your being. That frequency cannot be taught. It can only be reclaimed. Chosen ones are not born into ease. You often come through bloodlines filled with trauma, suppression, and silence. You are the interrupter of ancestral cycles, the breaker of karmic contracts, the healing agent disguised as a family member, a friend, a stranger with unexpected insight. Your presence brings disruption, not because you seek to cause chaos, but because truth disturbs what is false. Love confronts what is afraid. Light exposes what's been hiding. And you, by simply being who you are, initiate healing in others, whether they are ready or not. Because of this, you may feel rejected, misunderstood, even resented. Your light is not always welcomed. Your frequency challenges illusions. Your boundaries unsettle those who benefit from your silence. You learn, often painfully, that not everyone wants healing. Not everyone is ready to awaken. And your role is not to force them, but to remain true. To stand tall in your truth without bitterness. To know that rejection is often redirection, and solitude is often sacred protection. The path of the chosen one is not about being liked, it's about being aligned. Many chosen ones are introduced to suffering early in life. You may have faced abandonment, betrayal, violence, or neglect. This suffering did not come to destroy you. It came to forge you. It cracked open the shell around your soul. It made you feel deeply, see clearly, and listen closely. While others sleepwalk through life, you have been awake since the beginning, not by choice, but by divine necessity. That early pain carved out the space where your empathy now lives. It created the room for your sensitivity, your intuition, and your resilience. What once felt like weakness is now your superpower. You know what it's like to cry without anyone seeing. You know what it's like to question your worth. You know the long nights, the aching silence, the prayers that felt unanswered. And yet, here you are, not just surviving, but evolving. That's how you know you're chosen. Because no matter how many times life knocked you down, something in you refused to stay buried. There is a light in you that refuses to go out. That light is your mission. That fire is your proof. You are not here by accident. You are the answer to an ancestral prayer. You are the fulfillment of a spiritual promise. As your path unfolds, you'll start to notice the world respond to you differently. Children are drawn to you. Animals trust you. Strangers open up to you. People may confess things to you that they've never told anyone. They may seek your presence, even if they can't explain why. This is because your aura speaks louder than words. You emanate safety, clarity, and truth. Your energy reaches beyond logic. You are a mirror, and people see their true selves in your reflection. Sometimes they love you for it. Sometimes they run. Either way, your light is working. One of the most sacred and difficult parts of the Chosen One's journey is the purification process. This often looks like losing everything you once identified with. Jobs end. Relationships fall away. Friend groups shift. You find yourself walking alone, stripped of distractions, detached from your former identities. This is not a punishment. It is a rebirth. The universe is removing what no longer matches your soul's resonance. You are being emptied, not because you are forgotten, but because you are being made ready. Ready for clarity, ready for destiny, ready for truth. You begin to crave depth over distraction, silence over noise, purpose over popularity. You start saying no without guilt. You stop explaining your soul to people committed to misunderstanding it. You honor your energy, not out of arrogance, but out of respect for your mission. You know that every moment counts, every word matters, every connection is either fueling your mission or draining it. And so you choose intentionally. You live mindfully. You create space for the sacred, and in doing so, the sacred begins to fill your life. It's not that you stop feeling fear, it's that you stop being ruled by it. You recognize fear as a signal, not a dictator. You feel the doubt and take the step anyway. You hear the resistance and show up regardless. Courage becomes your compass. Faith becomes your map. You move from obedience to inner authority, from hesitation to embodiment, from pretending to becoming. And the more you show up as your authentic self, the more life begins to reflect that truth back to you. You may also begin to feel time accelerating, not in the mechanical sense, but in the soul sense. Lessons come faster. Cycles close quicker. Manifestations arrive more rapidly. You say something, and it shows up. You release something, and it transforms. This is because your frequency is rising. Your alignment is activating the law of resonance. You are becoming a conscious creator, not through effort, but through embodiment. Your energy is speaking louder than your actions. Your vibration is leading the way. And yet the path does not promise ease. There will be temptations to turn back, to shrink, to doubt. There will be tests, not because you are failing, but because you are being refined. Every test is a mirror. Every challenge is an opportunity to embody the truth you've discovered. You are not being punished. You are being entrusted with influence, with insight, with impact. And the more you anchor into your purpose, the less power fear holds over you. In the quiet moments when no one is watching, you'll begin to feel the presence of something greater, a warmth, a whisper, a knowing. That presence has always been with you, but now you are listening. Now you are ready to receive. This presence doesn't demand performance. It doesn't require perfection. It simply asks for your honesty, your surrender, your yes. And when you give it, when you say yes to your calling, your essence, your divine assignment, everything begins to shift. You begin to walk with purpose. You speak with intention. You create from soul. You stop imitating and start initiating. You don't wait for permission. You become the permission. Your life becomes a living sermon, a testimony not of ease, but of transformation. You show others what's possible. You give people hope just by existing. You remind the world that light is not gone. It's rising through you. The world doesn't need more copies. It needs originals. It needs souls who are awake, who are brave, who are willing to stand when it's easier to sit, who are willing to speak when silence is more comfortable, who are willing to love when cynicism is the norm. That's who you are. That's why you're here. You didn't come to blend in. You came to stand out. You didn't come to echo. You came to embody. You are the voice, the vessel, the vibration. At some point, you'll stop asking, "Why me?" and start declaring, "Of course me. Of course you were chosen. Of course you were sent. Of course your journey has been strange, sacred, and wild. Look at what you've survived. Look at who you've become. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. That's the universe saying, yes, it's you. You're ready." And even in the moments when you feel unqualified, remember, the universe does not choose the perfect. It perfects the chosen. If you are the chosen one, your life is not random. Every detour, every heartbreak, every delay, it was all by divine design. There is a rhythm to your journey, even if you can't always hear the music. You've been shaped by invisible hands, protected by unseen forces, called forward by whispers only your soul could recognize. You've always felt the difference, even when you couldn't name it. You walk into rooms and sense what others miss. You hear what isn't being said. You feel what others try to bury. Your presence is disruptive, not because of what you say, but because of who you are. The vibration of your soul speaks louder than your words. You weren't made to conform. You were made to awaken, and that awakening comes in layers. Sometimes it's gentle, like a sunrise. Other times, it's violent, like a storm tearing through your life. But every awakening, no matter how painful, is a portal into your purpose. The illusion must be broken for truth to enter. Comfort must be shaken for transformation to begin. And the deeper your calling, the more intense the breaking. because what you carry must be tested. The universe will not send an untried soul to lead others. It will not anoint a voice that has not yet been purified by silence, fire, and solitude. You may have noticed this pattern. Every time you try to settle into normal, something pulls you back. A job you thought was secure suddenly ends. A relationship you thought would last begins to collapse. A path you invested in begins to crumble. It's not punishment, it's protection. The chosen one cannot hide in comfort. You were not created for convenience. Your soul rejects false alignment like the body rejects poison. That inner discomfort is not anxiety, it's guidance. It's your higher self refusing to let you live a life beneath your purpose. You may have found yourself surrounded by people who don't understand you. They may love you, but they don't see you. They may accept parts of you, but they resist your evolution. That's because the more you step into your true self, the more you trigger what's unhealed in others. Your growth makes them question their stagnation. Your truth unsettles their denial. Your freedom confronts their fear. But that's not your burden to carry. Your job is not to shrink so others can stay comfortable. Your job is to expand so others know it's possible. Chosen ones often have to walk alone, not because they are meant to be lonely, but because their frequency is rare. You are not isolated, you are being insulated, separated for a season, so you can be strengthened for a lifetime. In solitude, you hear your soul more clearly. In the quiet, the divine speaks louder. And as you begin to trust that voice, that subtle, powerful, undeniable inner knowing, your entire life begins to rearrange around your truth. You may begin to feel a deep urge to clean up your life, to release toxic patterns, abandon shallow conversations, walk away from places that no longer feed your spirit. That's not just self-care, it's preparation. You're being cleared out so something new can come in. You're making space for the mission. You're aligning yourself with the assignment. The universe is not slow, it's strategic. And when your energy matches your purpose, synchronicities become the new normal. Doors open that were previously locked. People appear who seem heaven-sent. Miracles show up without explanation. This is not fantasy, it's resonance. Another hidden sign of the chosen one is a profound sense of responsibility. You may feel compelled to speak up, even when your voice shakes, to help, even when it costs you, to create, even when no one is watching. That internal drive doesn't come from ego, it comes from essence. It's your soul remembering why it came here. You weren't sent just to exist. You were sent to serve, to heal, to guide, to elevate the collective frequency of the planet. And every time you honor that inner nudge, the universe honors you in return. But this sense of responsibility can be heavy. You may feel like you're carrying the weight of the world, like everyone turns to you, but you have no one to turn to. Like you're the lighthouse, but no one notices when your light flickers. This is where your connection to the source, to the divine, becomes essential. You were never meant to do this alone. Your strength does not come from force. It comes from alignment. The more you stay rooted in your source, the more replenished you become. The mission may be big, but the energy required flows endlessly from within. There will be moments when you doubt everything, when the path ahead seems too steep and your strength seems too small. But in those moments, you'll find something unexpected, a quiet power rising from the depth of your being. Not loud, not dramatic, just steady, certain, sacred. It's the memory of who you are, the truth that has always been there. That power doesn't shout, it simply knows. And when you lean into it, When you let it guide you instead of fear, you become unstoppable. Many chosen ones have a history of being misunderstood. People have projected their fears onto you. They've called you too much, too intense, too sensitive, too different. But what they couldn't see was that your depth was a gift. Your sensitivity was strength. Your intensity was purpose, trying to express itself. And the more you embrace these qualities, the more powerful you become. You stop apologizing for your light. You stop editing your truth to fit into rooms that were never meant to hold you. You stop seeking validation, because your validation comes from within. You begin to recognize the signs of alignment. Your body feels lighter. Your intuition gets louder. You attract people who see you. You find joy in simplicity. Peace becomes more valuable than approval. You begin to live from the inside out, no longer chasing, but magnetizing, no longer begging, but receiving. And the more you live in this flow, the more miraculous your life becomes. You don't need to chase your purpose. You are the purpose, and everything you're meant to do will rise to meet you. There is something undeniable about you. You've always known it. Even in your darkest moments, a part of you refused to give up. That part is your essence. That part is eternal. And that's the part the world is waiting for. Not your mask, not your performance, your essence. When you let that part lead, everything begins to align. Opportunities, relationships, insights, they all begin to find you. Because when you remember who you are, the universe remembers why it sent you. You're not here to fit in. You're here to remind others that they were never meant to shrink either. Your life is the message. Your healing is the ripple. Your voice is the instrument. And when you live in alignment with your soul, you give others permission to do the same. That is the quiet revolution. That is the sacred uprising. And it begins with you. You may not remember the exact moment you were called, but you've always felt it. That strange sense of urgency in your spirit, the quiet ache in your chest when you see pain in the world, the overwhelming sense that you're here for something more. That's not imagination. That's your divine assignment, nudging you. The mission was written into your soul long before this lifetime. It whispers in your intuition, it pulses through your instincts, and it refuses to be ignored. There are days when you feel exhausted by it. You wonder why your path feels so complex, why your emotions run so deep, why you see things others don't. But this is not a mistake. The depth of your experience is directly connected to the height of your purpose. You were sent here to perceive what others overlook, to feel what others avoid, and to transform what others merely endure. The burden is heavy because the calling is high. Being the chosen one is not a title. It's not a prize. It's a responsibility. It means carrying wisdom in places that are starving for truth. It means showing love where hatred has built walls. It means standing tall in a world that keeps trying to make you small. The strength it takes to remain open in a world of closed hearts is extraordinary. But it's exactly that strength, the kind that comes from staying true despite everything, that makes you a vessel for transformation. You will recognize other chosen ones not by their words, but by their presence. There's something in their energy, calm yet charged, grounded yet visionary. They speak the language of the soul. They care more about meaning than attention. They radiate a quiet knowing, not because they've read it in books, but because they've lived it. You'll feel seen by them in ways you've never felt seen before. And when you do, you'll remember that you are never truly alone. Your soul family is real. They are walking this earth with you. You find each other not by searching, but by rising. Every stage of your journey, the confusion, the heartbreak, the awakening, is sacred. There is no wasted moment. Even the parts of your life that felt like detours were preparing you. Even the people who hurt you were shaping you. Nothing has been in vain. You've been initiated through fire, through silence, through loss, through revelation. You have come out the other side with more than survival. You've come out with sight, with truth, with clarity that can't be taught. That clarity is your compass now. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer conform, you embody. You no longer ask for permission. You give yourself the authority to live as you were made to. The time for hiding is over. The time for questioning your worth is done. You are being called to rise, to lead, to shine unapologetically. Not for fame, not for applause, but for alignment, for truth, for purpose. You may not always know the next step. The map may not be clear, but you don't need the whole path. You just need the courage to move. The universe does not reward hesitation. It flows with momentum. Each brave step you take unlocks the next. Each moment you trust your knowing, the path expands. You are not waiting on the universe. The universe is waiting on you. That's the final hidden sign. You begin to realize that everything you were seeking has always been within you. The signs were never outside. They were buried under fear. The answers were never in others. They were echoing in your own spirit. And the more you listen, the more you remember. Not learn, remember. This is the great remembering. The return to your essence. The return to why you were sent here. You were never here to please the world. You were sent to elevate it, to disrupt the narratives that keep people small, to remind others that power isn't given, it's claimed, that love isn't weakness, it's alchemy, that truth isn't always loud, but it always frees. Your life is a doorway through which others will walk into their own transformation. Every time you heal, you create a space where others can heal. Every time you rise, you lift the frequency for those still finding their wings. The world may not thank you. It may not understand you, but it needs you. Not the masked you, not the diluted you. You, the raw, real, radiant soul that has walked through fire and still chooses to love. That is your power. That is your gift. And it's time you own it completely. You are the chosen one. Not because you are perfect, not because you are above others, but because you chose to wake up when it was easier to stay asleep. You chose to break the cycles. You chose to be the first. You chose to say yes to the mission buried in your bones. That choice has changed you, and through you, it will change the world. So step forward now. Speak, shine, create, heal. You don't need a sign. You are the sign. And wherever you go from here, walk in the full, knowing that your life is sacred, your voice matters, and your presence is a miracle. You are not just walking a path. You are the path. And the path is lighting up beneath your feet.